Hey there, everybody. Franklin Taggart here. It's the coffee break, but I'm on water today. Coffee's just messing with me. It's day 2 of the fall cold, and I've been. I slept most of the day. Just my body is so worn out right now. So I'm gonna just probably make this short and sweet. I got an email this morning from a person who was saying that they were really tired of being on social media, and they wondered if there was a way that they could change all of that. And I talked to them a little bit. I have a few clients that don't use some social media, and one of them doesn't even have an email address. They don't use it at all because there are other ways that they can reach the people that they want to reach. So they're not worried about too much, being visible all the time. Now, all of that said, they're in industries where they don't have to sell a large volume of things. They don't have to reach a lot of people easily. So the thing that I would say is that if you're in an industry where you're doing high ticket sales and you only need to get a few sales rather than a whole bunch of sales, you may be able to do all of your marketing face to face. You may be able to do your marketing through more exclusive publications. You may be able to do your marketing through conferences. You may be able to do your marketing in a number of ways. If you are trying to sell a lot of something, I don't know of a better way right now to reach people than social media. Now, that said, I'm going to have another caveat here. Social media platforms, their algorithms have turned around to the point where it's really difficult to predict what content is going to be seen and what content isn't. And where there used to be kind of a predictability about it, I don't see the same predictability. So the one thing that we all know is that if we're going to reach the highest number of people through social media, we're probably going to be paying for advertising. And if you're trying to sell something that's in a large volume, advertising on social media, I think, is probably one of the things that you're going to want to investigate very thoroughly. And also advertising through Google, advertising, wherever your people are, congregating. All of those things are really worth considering. So, do you have to have social media in order to have a successful business? Not especially, but if you're trying to sell a lot of something, if you're trying to move thousands of copies of a book, or if you're trying to sell thousands of copies of a new music album, or if you're trying to move thousands of copies of a course, you're probably going to find that social media is the easiest way to reach the people that you want to reach with your offer. The thing that I think is really important, though, is I feel like that we're still in a time period when social media is still something that the majority of people just kind of use randomly. It's like they get on Facebook, they post a little bit of something about their day, they comment and like and do other things for other people. But other than that, they're not really, very strategic about talking about their offers. That is, I think, the biggest problem with social media is, first of all, there's a reluctance on some people's part to talk about themselves. Second of all, I really feel like that there are a lot of people who don't want to come off as salesy, quote unquote. And I think one of the things that needs to be asked there is, can you share information about your product, its development, your experience, your knowledge? Can you share that kind of information without it having to be a sale every time? I think that there's a way in there that you can tell a story to people about what you're offering them It's actually more of a human interest story than a plea to buy something, right? So if you don't want to be salesy, well, drop the buy my book, drop the buy my album, drop the buy my product thing, and let's give people a reason to be interested enough to buy your product, right? So those are some thoughts about social media and about marketing in general. I really feel like, a lot of what's happened with my coaching is that it's become almost 100% referral based. I still get a little bit of traffic and visits and things like that from my podcast and from my website. But quite honestly, the place where I get the most people is through word of mouth. And that's the original social media, right? So those are some thoughts about it. I had a conversation on Facebook the other day with a person who said, that he had to be on social media because that's where everybody was. And I get what he was pointing at there, but I also know that the people that he needs to reach are also involved in other areas where he might be able to reach them more easily. So it could be that he's missing out on an opportunity just because he believes that social media is the only place that he can reach the people that he needs to reach. I don't buy that at all. So anyhow, folks, I hope you have a good day. I'm going to continue to feel better on this end of things, and I will look forward to being back with you tomorrow with another coffee break. Thanks as always for your time and your attention, and I'll be back tomorrow. So long.